Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's intraday analysis video, brought to you by the creators of proprietary price, pattern, and time methodology. Learn the PPT strategies and profit for life. Let's get started on this action-packed day today. Today's date, Tuesday, August 5th, 2014. Markets are trading lower. S&P down 12, Dow down 90, NASDAQ down 24. Why is the market trading lower today? Well, we saw a nice rally yesterday, but remember, the bearish cycle is taking hold at this point. So you're going to have bounces, and you're going to even have multi-day bounces, but ultimately it's going to lead to more selling now. And that's just the nature of the beast. We nailed this cycle call again, and the markets continue to trade very weakly, and it's very apparent now. I mean, if you compare the market over the last week or two to the market 2 months ago, it's night and day. And I don't think, in all fairness, a blind man could tell that out. I mean, it's very, very easy to see that. But going into today, essentially what we had was more concerns over Russia and Ukraine. Every few days, it seems like more issues reemerge there, whether it's the unfortunate shooting down of that commercial airliner a few weeks ago, or even overnight we saw more divisions of Russian troops moving towards the border with Ukraine. So you have to wonder if you're going to see some sort of invasion into that eastern Ukraine portion over the next few days. And that's why the market's a little skittish right now. And in all fairness, it's a valid reason. That would be a very big escalation in the conflict if that were to happen. So again, markets are weak on that. Other than that, you don't have much economic news out there today that's triggering either buying or selling. This is a very quiet economic week in terms of news, and that is just more pointing towards geopolitical issues as being the driving force behind the market right now. So again, markets, you can see early in the day we gapped lower. We came down right on top of this support area, bounced into the 20, pulled back to the 50, bounced back to the 20 MA, then pulled back again to double bottom. Now we're seeing a little bit of a bounce off of that and a movement to the upside. Now there are some stocks in play today. One that's getting my attention today, WFM. If you look at the intraday here, had this beautiful 1, 2, 3 bar surge and then a pullback. It didn't quite come down to the 50 MA, but nonetheless is bouncing back. And the reason why this is catching my eye is because you have this stock trading very low on the charts. And again, this is very significant support that is held, and it's trying to break up. So it's not ready to be a buy for me just yet, but it is on my radar as a potential play in the near future if it continues to go sideways a little bit more without really breaking up dramatically. Then it would create a bullish pattern and could be a trade to the long side. A couple other things that are catching my eye today. I'm continuing to watch and play Corn, C-O-R-N, the commodity ETF, and looking at that, it's down a little bit today, but it's holding up, and basically my belief based on the analysis is that, and I can go to the chart here, let's go to this chart, is you're putting in some sort of little bullish bottom right here. Okay, so little bullish bottom. You'll have a resistance at gap fill 20 MA. You get through this line right here, which is right around the, let me get the price here, 26.68 or so. If you get through that gap fill, this thing goes very quickly to the upside and could squeeze to the upside in an epic fashion. So we'll continue to watch that and see how it plays out. But I do think this is a very intriguing thing. Other stocks that we want to pay attention to short term here, Apple, let's take a look here, down about 85 cents. So we're continuing to see weakness in Apple. Apple was weak yesterday when the markets were up, which was kind of a leading indicator. And also, if we take a look at JP Morgan Chase, this stock has really been weak. It had such a strong move up, but it is coming down. It cut right through all three moving averages, and now you have to think that you have a little bit of support here and here before the next drop to double bottom. All right, the question is, can it hold these supports and start to break back up? That'll be the big question in the short term on this market. All right, other things that I am keeping an eye on today, we do have some leading stocks in the Dow today, as well as some lagging stocks. And number one, Boeing. Boeing is up $1.32. You are coming off some decent support here. So if you look at this pivot right here, right, and you stretch it across, you have a nice little double bottom right there. So it's not a surprise to see, especially after so much overselling here, that this is getting a little bit of support. I think it'll be short-lived, though, maybe a few days to a week or so, and then you should see this start to head back lower. All right, one stock that is getting crushed today, take a look at Intel. All right, Intel, this is very significant because Intel broke not only the 20 MA here on the daily chart, but also gap window. Gap windows usually support, and this actually was consolidating in the upper ranges, not after today's price action. This downward move tells us ultimately this probably is going right here to gap fill. All right, and that's a very, very important signal here. And again, this close below this break point is probably over the next week or so going to lead this all the way down to the 31.75 level. Now, the 31.75 is going to be a big support line. So you probably, if it comes straight into that, can play that on the long side. It should be a nice little opportunity, but just be expecting this over the next week or so to trade down into that gap fill. You're only about a little over $1 away at this point, and today we're down $1.12 right there. So if we have any more big sell days, I would say it gets there within a day or two of those big sell days. Okay? A couple other things I want to mention. Twitter today is trading up a little bit, and you can see Twitter had that monstrous short squeeze off of earnings right here, and you can see mega move to the upside right there, and then so far it's faded. The one thing on Twitter that gets my attention is this pivot right here. So see this high pivot? This, I guess this is right around the 43 even number. Look at the low today, 43 even number. So you do actually have some decent support on the Twitter daily here, as long as it can hold it. All right, if it by some chance it moves below that line, then it actually could go all the way to gap fill as well, just like Intel. All right, this isn't considered a gap window. This is just a support line. But the point is, ultimately, if it breaks this line, it goes here. As long as it holds this line, look at this as a positive. This is a bullish side to it. So again, on this side of the line, above it, bullish, below it, bearish on a closing basis for the day. So right now, assuming it closes here, and again, I mean, it is trading up on the day, so it is actually having a decent day here. Not up a lot, but in a down market, that is strength, and that's coming because you kissed this support line, and you're getting a very small short-term bounce for now. Okay? So that's what we see on that. If we flip over to Facebook, no such luck. Facebook obviously had a big move up on earnings, but since then has faded quite a bit. Look at this on Facebook. See the high of this day? Essentially got kissed at gap fill right there and bounced. So that's what we talk about if we go back to the Intel chart, what you should expect. Here's your drop. If it comes down into gap fill, look for that quick snapback bounce. Usually it's about an 80+% chance of a success right in that trade. All right, so again, that would be a very high percentage in my book. It would be something I would take, in other words. Okay, what else do we want to take a look at here? Let's take a look at some commodities today. We are seeing the USO trading lower. Had a good bounce off this 200 moving average. If this breaks this trend line here, this is your next target, which will be around the 35 even number on the USO. The dollar, let's take a look at the dollar quickly here. The dollar, nice pop today in the dollar. Had 3 pullback days, now a quick pop. Still stalling at gap fill, but now that it's moving up, it may get to this double top as your next spot. All right, so just pay attention to that general range in that general vicinity. All right, Chinese stocks, let's take a look at Chinese stocks. Overall, I'm high on them in terms of liking them, but I couldn't be a buyer of Baidu here just because it's so extended on the chart. If you take a look at where Baidu was not long ago, I mean, this thing was a year and a half ago, or just over a year ago, down at $100, and just zooming into where this thing was in April of this year, it's already up 50-60% off those lows. So, I think these are performing great. It's probably going to continue to generally perform into the Alibaba IPO, but I'd be looking at other ones like Sina. Sina, I have a little position in. You can see that as long as it holds this trend line here is okay to go. That's looking okay. And another play would be, what is another one? Qihu. QIHU, if into the Alibaba IPO, maybe that gets a little bit of a bid, although this chart's not that great because it is significantly off those lows, but we'll keep an eye on it nonetheless. There are also smaller stocks that are Chinese related. Yoku or YOKU, let's bring that one up, see how that looks. Yeah, I mean, that's fading down to the low end, so I mean, there is a chance that that could get interesting there. Interesting. I mean, basically you have this significant support line right here, right? On this chart, and then if it breaks that, then these are your next supports down below it. But right now, anyways, if we get word of when that IPO is going to happen, this actually might be a play just because it's sold off so significantly. If you look at Alibaba, right? Excuse me, not Alibaba, Yoku here. Yoku was trading at 24, now it's at 18.5, which is a significant decline. So I'll keep an eye on these. Again, none of these are actionable right this second, in my opinion. Not Yoku, not Baidu, obviously, and some of these other ones. Sina looks the best to me as long as it holds that upsloping trend line. But the key is, again, if we get that date on Alibaba's IPO, that's when I'm going to start to pay attention and look for big buyers to come in. And if I see some big blocks coming in on some of these Chinese plays, I'll just jump on board and ride it. And with any luck, we'll see that type of price action. Okay, So that's what I have going on there, guys. I think that's about it. Let's just go back to the SPY and flip over to the 10-minute chart and just see where we're trading. Again, as the end of the video comes here, and really you're just holding this little low support area. Doesn't mean we can't break down later, but right now you are holding steady here on the charts. Have a great afternoon, great evening. Come take the 7-day free trial to the research center here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. Start profiting with the pros. Continue to profit like we are. I'm continuing to hold options plays that are 100% in the money. Beautiful options there. Stock plays, large caps for the most part, with some mid caps and small caps thrown in, all look very good to me as well. And come join, get access to these live trade alerts, text message alerts, and so forth. And again, as I said, profit with the pros. Take care.